We all know that Sri Raghavendra Swami appeared on this holy land over 400 years ago. He came in the tradition of great divine soul Acharya Madhava. I am told he was the 17th pontiff. He was of this land and he lived for the sake of humanity. This land of what we call Tamil Nadu today is a holy land. It's a land which has given birth to innumerable rishis and saints, sages, all those who since several thousand years ago, since the beginning of Sanathana Adhyatma, which is Sanathana Dharma, which gave rise to this country called Bharat, Rashtra called Bharat. This land has produced a galaxy of such rishis and saints. Several thousand years ago. We know that since the time of the revelation of Veda, Rig Veda, which is the most ancient of all texts in the world, which gave the light which is eternal and which we call popularly Sanatana Adhyatma or Sanatana Dharma. This light, revealed by our rishis and sages, has been carried on for at least for the last 10,000 years, if not older than that, because we do not exactly know how long back this was revealed. The conservative estimate is that at least about 10,000 years ago, maybe even earlier than that. And it was this that gave rise to a Sanskriti, Sanatan Sanskriti, which spread over a land, and the land became Bharat. When we say Bharat, Bharat has reference only in our Sanatan literature. Bharat is referred in Sanskrit and Tamil literature thousands old. What is Bharat? Even in our Constitution of India, the Article 1 of the Constitution says, India, that is Bharat. So India is introduced. India needs introduction. Bharat does not. Bharat is understood by every Bharatiya, because Bharat lives in our day-to-day life of individual, of family, of the collectives. So when the word India given by the foreigners, and because it is English language, and because the British had made us believe that English was a superior language, and the people at the time, they believed that, well, this is how it should be. But they felt the need to introduce India, and that is why they said, India, that is Bharat. And not only that, in the Constitution, when the pictorial depiction of civilizational evolution of Bharat was incorporated in the original Constitution, the first painting in our original Constitution is the painting of a Gurukula, Vedic Gurukula, where a rishi, a teacher, is teaching, students are sitting, cows grazing. That was the beginning of our civilization. That was the beginning of a Sanskriti, a Kalacharam, which was born out of this Sanatana Adhyatma, which is so expansive, which is so inclusive. It doesn't leave anyone. And this Bharat was born out of that. That light has spread. That is what we all know, that in Vishnu Puran, Bharat says, it defines geographical expanse of Bharat when it says, Uttram yat samudrasya himadrisya dakshinam varsham tad bharatam nama bharati dutrasantati. This, so people, they, out of ignorance, 1,000 years of foreign rule, invasions, distortions came up. And people gradually, a large people, they tended to forget it. Many people believe that this country was born in 1947. I mean, this is a joke. This is a Sanatan country, Sanatan Rashtra. And in this land has produced such a large number. This is the place, the fountainhead. We know that when the issue, the complex understanding and the knowledge embedded in the Vedas, when the rishis tried to explain it and explain it for the common people, it progressed and several philosophies emerged. And Shadadarshan emerged. The different ways to understand this truth. And we all know that yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali, Rishi Patanjali was from this land. Great Tirumular was from this land. Both were great proponents of Ashtanga Yoga, which is derived from the Vedas. Movement of Bhakti, whether they were the Nayanars or Alvars, they were all great proponents of Bhakti movement. And this Bhakti started from here and it spread over the whole land of Bharat. This land produced great people like Acharya Sri Ramanuja. This land, which produced such great saints, which believed it doesn't distinguish, there is no discrimination. Whether it is Acharya Shankar, Acharya Ramanuja, Acharya Madhava, there is no discrimination. They have not. They have all been advocated, they have all propagated and strongly held and conveyed the truth that we are all part of a family, we are all equal. We know that Acharya Shankar prostrated before a Chandal. We know how Acharya Ramanuja was a great proponent of equality, and so was Acharya Madhava. In that tradition, we got a great divine soul, Sri Raghavendra Swamigal, about over 400 years ago. So this tradition has been a continuing tradition. This has kept the light, the Sanatana Dharma and which is Sanatana Adhyatma, not only alive, not only burning, but it is being passed on to generations and generations, and even today we have it. This is something which is unique. No other country in the world, no other civilization in the world can claim to have such a living tradition for over 10,000 years ago, 15,000 years old. Some people, out of their ignorance, they try to say that Sanatana Dharma is discrimination, this is untouchability. No, this is not. So discrimination among humans is not Sanatana Dharma. Untouchability has no place in Sanatana Dharma. We are all human body. Human body has some vikara, some ailment. Vikara has to be treated, has to be cleansed to make it healthy. That vikar cannot define who we are. This beautiful city of Chennai. This beautiful city of Chennai is home to great artists, great intellectuals, great spiritual leaders, great men and women of literature, great people. But here in this city, we have some places where we have open gutters and sewers. Now Chennai cannot be defined by these gutters and sewers. These are aberrations, these have to be cleansed, they have to be corrected. So if anyone tries to say that Sanatana is one which advocates discrimination, social discrimination, untouchability, it is far, far from truth. Swamiji, His Holiness, in his initial invocation, he invoked a mantra, a prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kasyat bhagave. Let every being be happy, let every being be free of diseases. Now when we are talking about every being, which includes animals and plants, how can there be a discrimination among humans? These are aberrations, these are distortions, and this distortion cannot define the original, what it is. This is a land which has sustained Sanatana Dharma. All the great rishis, all the great saints born on this land have spread the light to the whole of the country. And we must be proud of it. The people, and even those people who were born outside, they got the enlightenment on this land. They take the case of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda, a Narendranath became Vivekananda with the touch of Mahaprabhu Ramakrishna Paramhans. But his enlightenment, his awakening came on this land when he came here. He learned further, including the Shaiva Siddhant. He meditated on this land, and there he got the national awakening, the primary purpose of the Dharma, to build the nation for the sake of the whole world. Whole world. Take the case of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo was born somewhere else. But that awakening in him, which transformed a revolutionary Aurobindo to Rishi Aurobindo, got on this land. And when we listen to and when we read Sri Aurobindo, he beautifully describes one of his discourses, his speeches, Uttarpara speech. He made it very, very clear. He made it clear that Bharat and Sanatana Dharma are two inseparable. Bharat is born out of this Sanatana Dharma. And when there has been a decline in either, the both have declined. When there has been a decline in Sanatana Dharma, Bharat has declined. When it has been rise, Bharat has risen. That is the call given by Rishi Aurobindo. That is the true nature of things, the true nature of relations. That is why on 15th of August 1947, when India became independent, when the British left us, Rishi Aurobindo, sitting in his ashram, jotted down his dreams and the task for the Bharat, the new Bharat. New Bharat is Bharat which is independent. And he said, he writes in his dream, and what is the duty of Bharat? He says, the entire universe Earth is the only evolutionary planet where the life is evolving. Life is evolving to the higher level. From Jada to Chetan to Manushya to Paramanushya. This evolution of consciousness is happening on this earth, nowhere else. At least science has not discovered as yet any other place. And on this planet, on this earth, Bharat is the only country where the knowledge of Veda that tells that we are all members of a family. Atmavat sarva bhuteshu, mam atma sarva bhutatma. All this truth of universal inclusion, it came on this land. He says, was it accidental? He said, no. It was divine purpose. There was a divine purpose by which this truth was revealed on this land through our rishis and sages. And so, Bharat has a divinely mandated responsibility. Divinely mandated responsibility to spread this light to the whole world. It shouldn't remain confined to Bharat alone. It is this light that talks about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is a family. It is this Sanathana Dharma that talks about Yadu Mure Yavarum Ke. It is this. This is the core pretext of Sanatana. We are all members of a family. We are looking differently, but this difference is apparent. There is no fundamental. And fundamentally, we are all a reflection of the same divine, same Parameshvara. And so at that level, at the most core level, we are all one. Differences are not differences, they are variations. So there is a difference between difference and variations. What we have around are variations, they are not differences. We are one and the same. This knowledge came here, right from the Vedas. And so, Rishi Aurobindo says it is our duty to spread it to the rest of the world. And how do we spread it? This knowledge has been with us for over 10,000 years. To spread this knowledge, Bharat must be strong, must be capable, must be samarth. Because only then, only then, the people take note of it. We all know in Shukra Niti, Shukracharya said, Balino vasga sarve durbalasya cha satruva. If you are weak, you are surrounded by enemies. If you are strong, you have friends all over. You have to be strong. And that is the destiny of Bharat. And that is the destiny on which the country is moving forward. What the Prime Minister, who has set again a divinely mandated his appearance. This such a person who understands Bharat, who understands what is Bharat and the pulse of the people. He has set a target, a course of what he calls Amrit Kal. In the next 25 years, this country must be capable to spread the light of Sanatana Dharma to the whole world. And that is, there is no one who is outside. Even those who do not believe, they are part of the family. Because the moment you say, they are not, you are not a Sanatana. You cannot accept. It is impossible to say that anyone or any being is not part of my family. Even if that person says that, no, I am not part of your family, fine. It is your ignorance. As far as I am concerned, you are mine, you are us. There is no question of they. It is a question of us. This has to be there. And in this, the next nearly 24 years that we have before us, institutions like Raghavendra Mutt has a great responsibility. You know, on the 26th of January 1930, when the National Freedom Movement had gained momentum, a resolution was passed by the Indian National Congress. And there it says, British rule has ruined India politically, economically, culturally and spiritually. They try to destroy our spirituality. They try to destroy our culture. This has to be regained. It has to be built. They have done enough damage to it. So when Bharat is rising, the rise of Bharat cannot be just a material rise. Cannot be rise in just science and technology. That we have, of course we have to. Because Swami Vivekananda said that the Bharat, the revelation that he got on this land was for the benefit of the world, was that Bharat has to be the one whose muscles are made of iron, whose sinews are of steel, but whose heart and mind is compassionate, Vedantic. Such a Bharat. So when Bharat is growing technologically, Bharat is growing economically, Bharat is growing militarily, and today it is growing. Until a few years back, the world did not take us seriously. But we all know the whole world is watching at India with a lot of expectation. When the Prime Minister of India speaks, the whole world listens and listens with attention. Because they see the way forward. They see how the Western belief system, Western ideology has devastated the world, devastated the climate, devastated the society. There is so much of poverty, there is so much of tension, there is so much of violence. Violence against nature, climate crisis, violence against each other, wars, visible, invisibles. Poverty, huge, and when some are in rich prosperity, a large part of humanity is still deprived. Now this is not sustainable. And for that, Bharat has to be strong. Not only materially, not only militarily, not only economically, but also spiritually. Because if it is not, then it will be just an imitation of the West. No, it will not be imitation of it. Has to. There has to be a resurgence, a spiritual resurgence of Bharat. And in that, this institution like Raghavendra Mutt has a great responsibility. They have to work out, you have to work out your charter for the next 24, 25 years. You have been doing a great job. You have been carrying on the legacy, the knowledge, that parampara, the tradition. Perhaps we have to be innovative. I would have loved to see some more young people sitting here. We have to take this lesson to our young people. Our young people are not getting the right kind of education. And in the ancient times, all through, such institutions were not just a place of worship, no. Worship was one part of it. They were the nodes of entire social life. There was a place of education. That is the place of health care. That's the place of justice. Every need of the society revolved around such institutions. These institutions were the answer to all these problems. It is only the advent of modern state that society got weakened and everyone started looking to the state. Okay, give us something. If a small ditch happens somewhere on the road, you write a petition rather than getting together and filling it. I often say, I recall in my younger days when I was a high school student in my village, before monsoon, every year before monsoon, the whole village used to assemble with their spade and crowbar, whatever they had, the implement, agricultural implement. I was in a village, and used to desilt and clean the distributory for the canal to take water to our field. We didn't look up to government to build this. Before the onset of monsoon, the whole village got together and desilted the water body of the village, the pond. We didn't look up to government. Not like today, that if a small ditch happens, we get together, write a petition, hire a taxi, and go to some place and give a petition to somebody. This weakening, emasculation of society that has happened with the advent of the modern state, it is the undoing of our country. We have to build the society. And the society has been built by institutions like Raghavendra Mutt. We had such institutions which used to take care of the needs of the society. Not only the physical needs, not only the intellectual needs, but not only the spiritual needs. All the needs. This was the center. And so, such institutions have to now think of what new we can do, how we can take this to our young people. Because we have to be ahead in technology, but we also have to be deeply attached with our tradition. Both tradition and technology must go together. And that's how it is important that we need to impart such education to our young people who should know. Today, how many of our young people know about our great saints, Pamban Swami, Valalar, Ramna Maharshi, all these, so many, count, you name a few and then you leave out so many. So there have been so many. We need to take these to our people, to our young people, so that they know and they are proud of who they are. They must clear. There must be their illusion, that distortions, a smoke which has been infused over the period by foreign belief, foreign ideology. This has to be dispelled. Our young people, our young boys and girls must be taught and must be proud of their heritage, their intellectual heritage, their cultural heritage, their spiritual heritage. And this is the responsibility of institution like Raghavendra Math. Friends, I feel blessed to be here. We associated with an institution which is doing such great work, and the person, though the person, he appeared about more than 400 years ago, but we all know that the eternality of soul, we know in some way we try to connect and we connect with him. We get inspiration and strength from person like Swami Raghavendra. We should energize the movement. We should increase it consciously and find new ways, new means, how to take this light, this knowledge to our younger generation so that the country prospers in coming days and be what the country deserves to be, the leader of the world. That is where our destiny. Thank you very much. Once again, I wish all of you.